Hi. It's late for a lot of you. I hope everyone is well. Hey. Hello, hello. I'm seeing more of my West Coast folks. Hey, Cam. Send me a message. Text me. Hey, Lydia. Hey, you guys. It feels like it's been forever. It kind of has. There have been so many things that have changed, but for the good, right? So I haven't felt, I go with spirit, I really do. And when I tell you guys that, like, I do this on these days and I do this on this other day as I'm led by spirit, I really mean that. So I've been deep in shadow work and in manifestation and feeling the shift in the energies and just, processing a lot. And it's been really amazing because I'm being shown next steps, next levels. Oh, you're new? Hi. You found me on YouTube. I don't post on YouTube as much as I should. I'm so glad you found your way over. I don't do as much of the relocation stuff over here. I find that I have really, my Instagram very quickly turned into a place for me to share my spiritual processes and lessons and expression of that part of myself. But relocation is just as much a part of that. It's not really separate, right? Because so much of what keeps us where we're at has to do with what we feel our limitations actually are. And usually it comes from what we've been taught, what we've been told, whatever. And it's all wrapped up in how we see ourselves in our own spiritual practice and in the work that we have to do. So it's not separate. The community here is growing. People are arriving left and right, which is great. I'm happy to participate in whatever way. Oh, is my audio still muffled? Thank you for telling me. I'm honored to participate in any way that I do with anyone that's come. It's been really eye-opening for me. It's been really amazing for me. Is it still going in and out? Is it going in and out now? Do I need to be louder? You guys tell me if my audio is still funky. Anybody, put it in the comments if you can, if it's, oh, it's fine now? Okay, good. No, the community is definitely growing and there's more and more people coming. And aloha. And I'm seeing that the type of support that one person needs is different than what someone else needs. And people are moving for different reasons. And creating the space for people to move and for people to ask questions and to hold space for that is its own kind of work, right? And so my spiritual walk has been expanding and changing. And I'm also ready to make new moves in my own life that affect the community at large. And as things shift and change, and a lot of us found each other during a time of major uncertainty, right? Not saying that it's any less uncertain, but for some people are feeling quite relieved these days. Some people are feeling like things are getting back to air quotes normal or whatever that means. And some of us are feeling even more unnerved and ready to make a change. And that has to be okay. Like, we have to find space to respect our differences without judgment. And so all of that stuff that I've been talking about, allowing people to be on their path, allowing people to figure out what works for them without judgment, it's very real. And that includes what we do for ourselves. How much space do you hold for yourself to change your mind? How desperate are you to know and be certain right this very minute? We put so much focus on that, as if it's the end of the world if we're unsure. And oftentimes what helps us get out of our sense of being unsure is when we admit that we're not sure. And when we admit that we need help, or when we admit that we haven't done all the research that we could, or when we admit that we aren't feeling as motivated as we once were. When you are honest, it actually allows for you to figure out what it is that you really want a lot faster. Also, some things that I've learned about myself, and just like in the implementation of community. So like, most of us have some idea of what we consider community to be. Whether or not we've actually experienced it or not is neither here nor there. Pretty much everybody has an opinion or an idea of what they think community is. Actually being in the center in the way that I am of creating, there's 75 different microclimates here. So where you can grow, and I mean, things grow everywhere. It just depends on what you're trying to grow. The idea of community and what that actually means is evolving, because I have more and more people coming here that I hold space for. And so the way that I show up for them is different. Something that I'm learning more and more about myself, though, and about the kind of community that I am committed to building, is one where everyone is clear about where they're at. I don't live on the Caribbean side. I live in Central Valley. But I'm looking at the beaches also. Not the Caribbean side, though, the Pacific. We all, especially when we're unsure, we all feel like what we need is paramount. We all feel like what we need is the most important thing. We are all self-centered when we're scared. That's just what it is. When we're scared, that's when people push other people in line. That's when people trample folks in grocery stores. That's when that happens. When you're scared. Yes, Crib Girl, I'm going to save this. I'll post it. That's when that happens. And so observing so many people going through this process, and me actually guiding people through the process, be it their shadow work, which a lot of you guys may or may not know, I have a whole shadow work series that I poured a lot of time and effort into on my Patreon, or if it's just going through, emotional, oh no, that's a good question. Melanated. On the Caribbean side, yes. But the infrastructure is not up to par. And so what I've decided to do, quite literally, is I have anchored in the best places, best meaning most infrastructure, meaning if the power goes out, it's only going to be out for 20 minutes instead of 2 weeks. That kind of thing, paved roads, good access to food and water and things like that. I am in one of the richest areas of Costa Rica, and I am actively assisting other people that look like me to come here and enjoy the best of the best of the best. I did not choose to move to a place to invest what I had into rebuilding infrastructure that was not made available. I am reclaiming what I feel belongs to me. And I am entitled to all and everything that's the best, period. And so are you. And that's really how I feel. Community. Community is not community if you're not actually willing to support and help and assist others. If you just want to be served, then that's not community. And if that's what you want, then you should just pay for it. Being in a community means that you also feel a certain responsibility. And yeah, that's a heavy word. But having a interdependence and a comfort with having an interdependence and being reliable in the same ways that you need to rely on others, that's community for me. And I'm realizing that that is incredibly important, right? So, and if you are approaching relationships with people in community, you are also self-evaluating. What is it that I have to offer to this person? What is it that I need from this person? And then what is it that they might need from me. That's interesting. This talk of community is interesting because I found myself drawing away because of collective sheep-like mindset. And that's the thing too, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's not real community, right? What that is a large group of people that are comfortable being led by people who are actively seeking to guide them. Community is proactive. Community is exchange. Community says that I see the value in you and you see the value in me, and I'm going to do my best to make available to others who I also need something from. We are going to get into a cyclical dynamic. A herd is toxic. A herd is a bunch of people who get together who are too lazy to do their own work. Therefore, they're not useful to themselves or anyone else. That's what you're not interested in. It's not that you're not interested in community. It's actually what most of us have had the least of, is community. But that doesn't happen if we don't value what we have to offer and we only seek to receive. I've really been in thought about that because, you know, I've said this before. I help. Hey, girl. I love to help other people who are community builders. I support people in their process of evaluating whether or not they should stay or go. I have a lot of resources for people, that I respect to help. But I also absolutely require respect for what it is that I have learned and what it is that I have to offer. What I cannot stand, though, is if I say to you, I'm giving this to you because I have it to give, right? If I decide to support someone or refer someone or whatever, I would never then turn around and proceed to berate them for not getting from them what it is that I felt that I deserved. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. When I don't feel like I have anything to give, I don't give it. When I feel depleted or tired or unsure or I need to process some things, I go within, deal with my shit, and then I come back. You know, I pour a lot into my Patreon group, and I do these series with my whole heart. And if I don't have anything to offer and I got to do some internal stuff, that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Because what I'm building here and the women that are here now and the families that are coming next month alone, there's going to be like 10 or 12 people. There's going to be babies born. Like, we're doing a lot over here in Costa Rica. A lot of people are moving to Mexico. Several people are moving, you know, from all these other places, right? And what happens is that we tend to kind of center on one person and then everybody just kind of like relies on them and they forget that they also have something that's important too. So if you're thinking about coming here to this community, I want to know what you do. I want to know what your skill set is. I want to know what your interests are. Can I have some of your water? Sure. I want to know these things because I want everyone that has any interaction with me to know that even if they don't know what their value is, even if they don't know right now what it is they have to offer, even if they're not sure about themselves, there is something that you can give while you're also seeking assistance. This is the way that we learn to empower ourselves and each other. It is, what time is it here? What time is it here?
11:56.
It's 11:56. So I'm 2 hours ahead of Cali time and I'm an hour behind. I'm an hour behind East Coast. Another thing. I'm also learning the importance of allowing people to learn on their own without you needing to point it out. I used to be like a super heavy, extra, I told you so type of person. Because it would really make me angry that I was like giving guidance and trying to help people not hurt themselves, and then they would do it anyway. And I'd be like, I told you so. If for nothing else, let this be proof that I care about you. People don't tend to receive it that way, though. People receive it as you gloating, or you rejoicing in their sorrow. And I really had to think and figure out like how to get out of that, how to move past that. And so for me, what I'm learning now is that it's actually really, really, really good to just kind of let people learn, you know? Because then if they come back and they need assistance, then they're actually going to be able to receive it. It's not help if you have to force it down someone's throat. That's not help. That becomes control and judgment. I'm not here to judge anybody. That's not my job. It's not my job. My job is to, with the permission of the person. Oh, it's like a 45-minute flight from Costa Rica to Panama. It's not far at all. You can drive there in like 6 hours from Central Valley. It's not my job to force my help onto people. It isn't. And that means sometimes I have to sit there and watch people hurt themselves. Like a lot of us do. And I know that's been a major source of frustration for a lot of folks. Like, I'm watching people that I love, that I've given this information to, you know, I'm asking them to take their time and do research, and no one's listening, and it's frustrating me. But that's because you're internalizing it. I don't know where he was. I don't know. I think he was in the coast somewhere. That, you know, that whole mess, that was a whole mess. And it was really sad and disgusting. But something that I've said over and over again, and this is in response to this question, where was Nature Boy? The thing is, I have a video that I did. It's here. I don't know how long ago I did it. But when I was talking about personal responsibility and accountability, and how we as a collective need to move away from our propensity to listen to unqualified men who sell us dreams about lifestyles that they aren't actually participating in themselves. Like, that's kind of partially what I'm talking about, right? Because as a woman, I'm held to a much higher standard to prove what it is that I say than if I was a man. And that's just on period. That's just what it is, right? What's my least favorite part about growing the community? Least favorite. The least favorite is accepting that not everybody, as much as you would hope, not everybody's going to be on the same page. You're not going to click with everyone either, right? You're not, and that's fine. Knowing that not everybody is going to have the same interest or the same direction that you have. And they do have the vaccine here, but it's not mandatory. Like, not everybody has to take it. And also that not everybody is going to be able to participate in everything. Like, right? Like, not everything's for everyone. Not everything is for everyone. And trying to help people come to a place of comfort with that can be really challenging. That can be really challenging. And also, one of the things that's been challenging about growing the community is that people do not believe me when I tell them that you are going to have an emotional breakdown at some point. No one believes that. It always happens. It's absolutely guaranteed. It's in the mail. The knowing and not always being heard can be challenging. That can be challenging. Having proper boundaries, that can be challenging as well, right? But you have to teach people how to treat you from the beginning. And so and this is just my leadership style. My leadership style is more in the line of I rather set my boundaries ahead of time than to start bad habits and then be mad about it and try to fix it later. I'm not like that. I'm going to let you know pretty much ahead of time without having to, because here's the thing about boundaries, you guys, like everybody thinks that you have to like sit down with someone and go, I will take care of this, I will tolerate this, I don't tolerate that, right? And that's not really functional, because then that just makes you look like you're crazy. In interaction, as things come up, that is when you teach those lessons. That's when the lessons get taught. The first time. If I sit in the car and I don't get out and you're driving and you're a gentleman, you're either going to learn right then, oh, I need to go open the door for her, or I'm going to learn that you're not it, right? Because that's something that I expect. That's something that I want. I'm not going to open my own door and then complain later and be mad, because they probably won't remember. And then it becomes you're trying to tell someone something. Give people the opportunity to adjust to the type of relationship dynamic that you want without forcing it down their throat. It's okay. It's okay. Some people are going to get access to me in ways that other people won't, because our interaction and our dynamic is going to show me. That's another thing too. You got to give people room to show you who they are. When you constantly want to have conversations about it, you're giving them the opportunity to tell you who they think they are or who they would like to be. Observation is the only way that you'll actually learn who someone is. And that takes patience. That takes patience. So, yeah, you know. Couple updates. We have 5 days left. If you want to enroll and register for week 2 with ISIS, you gotta have it into me. I need to have your registration within the next 5 days. Now, there's a little bit more time for the week 1 because we've already hit our enrollment minimum. We have not hit our enrollment minimum for week 2, so there's only 5 more days. Okay, that's how that's gonna go. You will have to book with me directly. It's no longer available on Eventbrite. So if you're interested in attending, you gotta let me know as soon as you can. We would love to see you there. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be life-changing. But we still have, I want to say 6 spaces for week 1. Week 2, it's a maximum of like, I think 10, 12 people. So it's a much smaller, it's different. The whole thing is different. So I'm going to be posting about it a lot the next 5 days. So just prepare for that. But yeah, y'all, like the evolution and not being afraid to evolve. Sometimes we really just have to push through. Sometimes you got to do the things that you never thought that you were going to. Sometimes you got to move without fear. Sometimes you really have to be willing to take a leap and to do something that you've never done before. And every time I do that, I be thinking, okay, am I done? And then Spirit goes, no. No, there's still more for you to do. There's still more for you to do. There's still some extra stuff that you haven't done yet. There's some gifts that you didn't know that you had that you got to work with. There's always something new. And so after this retreat, a lot of things are going to be changing for me. And I'm excited and I'm nervous, but I'm mostly excited. There's going to be more happening on Patreon. I got a lot of new downloads and some things that have been coming to me, so I'm looking forward to putting out more content there. I'm going to try to be more active on my YouTube. I know my YouTube is dry. I post something probably once a month. I'm terrible. YouTube's just, it's not really like a format for me that's super comfortable. But I'm trying. Our intuition really is our guide. It's your connection to your higher self. It's your connection to your Ori. Everything is changing. And really, y'all, let's stop feeling guilty, especially if this time has not been incredibly detrimental to you. Let this be permission for you to feel happy about the evolution and the change, and be ready to level up, because it's coming. It's coming for a lot of us. A lot of things are becoming clear. A lot of things that I'm seeing that I was not ready to see before, and now I am, and I'm ready to make those next steps. Feeling and knowing that we're worthy and ready. You're worthy and ready right now for everything that you've been asking for, and it's coming. I had no idea how strong I was. I knew I was strong, but I didn't know how strong I was. I knew that I was prepared, but I didn't realize how ready I was. And I didn't know what all I needed to do to get ready to get to the next place, and it's coming. And I know that it is for you also. So Spirit has given me the okay. I'm going to be on a little more than I had been. Look for me in the rising. I have a lot more to say. And a lot of you guys saw those pictures that I posted. Your girl is really over here plotting and planning on some heavy stuff, because it's needed and it's time. It's needed and it is time for us to take our rightful place. And I'm super excited about what's coming. So you guys look for me in the rising sometime. I'm going to post this. It's late, I know, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking for me. I will talk to you guys tomorrow for certain, okay? Bye.